Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Here's part 2 of our interview with Courtney Blair. I've never in my life, and I'm an old guy, I've never in my life taken a job for money. I've always taken it. I've always been so blessed to be able to have a job come to me, for lack of a better term, or just show up. And it's something that I know I can be good at. It's something that I can make a difference with. And, oh, guess what? The money just comes.
Yeah, and it does come because when you're looking at it in terms of how you can provide value, the money does show up.
Yeah, I love that. I wouldn't. Good for you. I wouldn't change that for anything, man. That's you need to do a podcast on that. You know? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've podcast is in the works for me on my end. That's definitely something that's going to be coming in the future. I wondered because you have such a great personality and engaging voice, and your energy just comes through gangbusters, and people can't help but listen to you. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Good to know. Yeah, I'll subscribe.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I definitely plan on doing a podcast. You know, I've been doing a Facebook Live show, which has been on hold because I've been paying for branding and stuff for it. So,
right.
But what I was doing for the live show was while I'm interviewing with the podcasters on their shows, we're also going live.
Oh, nice.
And we're just kind of doubling down on visibility. So I'd like to do that with you. Just kind of, again, once I have my branding package all figured out and my Wi-Fi is a little bit better, I'm going to relaunch it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have you on there, too, just to kind of, expose you to the people that I'm working with as well. Because that's the whole point, is to kind of expose the podcasters that I'm working with to my clients and, you know what I mean, expose myself to my new clients that are on my Facebook, so it's kind of a double
Good for you.
win
Well,
there.
yeah, anytime you can double down and create a win-win-win, I mean, why wouldn't you do that? You know?
Yeah,
I was talking to...
I'd love to schedule that with you, too, in the future.
Name
we'll
it.
get that going.
I'm in.
Cool. Sounds good.
I don't remember who I was interviewing the other day. Anyway, we just had a great conversation, and she does podcasts, and it's a mental health news radio network. And so
I totally know them.
You know them?
Yeah, definitely.
You probably introduced me to her. You probably introduced me to her, actually.
Maybe.
Now that I say that out loud. But it was fascinating to talk with her because when she'll do roundtable podcasts, right? Which I hadn't thought of before. And so I was telling her about this group that I'm passionate about. It's called Songwriting with Soldiers. And it's professional songwriters who go on a retreat with vets. It's no cost to the vets. And you sit one-on-one with a songwriter, you tell your story, and 4 hours later you have a song. It's absolutely one of the most breathtaking, sometimes gut-wrenching experiences any vet would ever go through. It changed my life, and it certainly changed everybody else's life that I've been associated with. And in fact, they had a feature on CBS last week about it, the CBS News this morning.
Awesome.
And in fact, I think about it, I'll send you the link. But anyway, we were talking about that, and she said, well, we should do a roundtable podcast and talk to, people involved with that. I'm going, ooh, I like that.
That's a fantastic idea.
Isn't that a cool idea?
Yes, I love that idea. I mean, even just with what they're doing with that organization is incredible. But then to do a roundtable podcast on top of that was just boom, two great ideas.
And I've been rolling that around in my head for the last week or so, trying to go, I have to put my brain into a roundtable podcast mode and see what that means to me. See if we, as you would say, double down on it and see. See what can happen there. So I'm gonna mess with that. I challenge you to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like an incredible opportunity.
So if people are listening, and I mean both people who are listening, if they have, if they're an author, if they're an entrepreneur, if they're a coach, if they're a trainer, if they're a self-improvement person, and they want to get some exposure for what they do to help change people's lives, how can they reach out to you? How can you how can they get in touch with you, I guess?
So the best way, the most efficient way, I guess to say, to get on a call with me is to go to zippycontent.com and just book an appointment right off my website. You can book a call with me. You'll get me on a call within the next few days, and we can totally hash out how we can work together. If you just want to follow me, just want to keep up with what we're doing, just find Courtney Blair on Facebook, Zippy Content on Facebook. You can follow our live show that's going to be relaunching here pretty quickly. We're going to have David on. And that's where you can kind of follow us and just keep up with us. But yeah, the fastest way to get on a call with me and to talk more about how we can work together is to just go to my website, zippycontent.com, and book an appointment with me from there.
I'm on there right now. It says if you need more buzz, get started, find your voice, and just hit the Start Now button. It's also got a blog. Yep. It's also got some featured bios that explains to you how to get started. And contrary to some people's belief, if you have something that you're passionate about, podcasts are not brain surgery.
They're really not. And there is a podcast about everything. A lot of people don't realize, the podcasting industry, especially over the last year, has just exploded. I mean, there are podcasts about anything and everything. And so if you're looking at it just as a marketing tool, the options are really limitless. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you have your message tuned in and dialed in.
Yeah.
We can place you on podcasts, and you can bring more exposure to what you're doing. So don't think that you're out of the loop just because you're doing something that's different. If anything, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely. I interviewed a guy yesterday, Rob Greenlee. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
Ooh, that name's ringing a bell.
He did the first he did the first podcast on September 15th, 2004.
Oh, my goodness.
He was working for Microsoft, and he was developing content, and he was trying to figure out a way to get audio content out besides just putting links into newspaper articles and stuff like that. And so he was doing a radio show to try to create that content, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you knew, he was doing a podcast.
Oh my gosh, he created the most incredible business tool.
Right? He's freaking brilliant.
Shake the guy's hand.
He is freaking brilliant. I mean, he's working with Google right now to try to help them figure out how to incorporate podcasts into their business model. So it's
as he should be. Keep it up, buddy.
Fascinating.
You're doing great.
So what's next
on us.
Right? What's next on your agenda? What's going on in the wonderful world of Courtney Blair?
So we are branching off to a couple other different things right now too, just with Zippy Content. We're kind of going full PR. So we're the first thing that we're offering is for writers. So if you're a writer, you have a blog, and you want to be featured on other high caliber blogs, we're offering guest writing positions. So it's kind of a similar to podcast interviews in that we're connecting you with people who have platforms, and then you're just guest writing rather than doing a podcast interview. So that's one way we're going.
That's pretty cool.
Another way we're going is through TV interviews. We've made some connections with some people who are launching TV shows right now, which it seems like a cool thing that's happening. Just a few connections that we've made so far, and it seems like it's kind of gaining traction to where the same type of platform that we're doing with these podcasts, where they're entrepreneurial and their interview formats, are kind of going to TV. So I just did an interview for a TV show that is going to be aired on Amazon Prime, Chrome, Apple TV, you know what I mean, Roku, like it's going to be kind of streamed across. And so that seems like a new thing that's kind of happening. Like people are realizing what an incredible tool podcasts are, and I think they're kind of translating over to the TV world,
That's
so
exciting.
More of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. So, and then, we're also diving into public speaking and setting up live public speaking gigs and stuff like that. So we've been making connections with people in those arenas, and we always have our feelers out there. That's one of the cool things that, just being in the podcasting industry and reaching out to all these podcasters is that most podcasters aren't just podcasters. Like they're doing a lot of other things. They're hosting events and they own businesses, so we come across a lot of really cool opportunities just by doing what we're doing, So
I love that.
It's led to natural growth.
Well, that's what's so fun is when stuff happens organically,
Mm-hmm.
And you start out in one place and you go, man, that is so cool. And let's do that. Oh, okay, well, let's do that. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got your oh my God, you got your finger in all these pies, and they and they're all flowing. That's just wow. You're giving me goosebumps. Beautiful. That's the third time today. I'm hanging up now. That's it. No.
That's got to be a good sign.
It is a good thing. Hey, Courtney, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much. It was very zippy. It flew by. Folks, go to zippycontent.com. And if you have something that can help change people's lives, then Courtney's the person you need to talk to. Courtney Blair from beautiful downtown Temecula, California. Have a glass of wine for me, kid.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Your 20-minute podcast with David Brower has been brought to you by Audible. You can listen to any of David's podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found, including iHeartRadio, the Spotify mobile app, and at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.